the time has come to get some sponsors for your gala, but your emails are getting ignored, or maybe you're getting a lot of no's. What is happening here? Hey, I'm Dani Dada Rosa. I help nonprofit leaders plan and execute profitable galas. And this is a conversation that we have often because getting sponsors for your galas is a huge key piece to making sure your gala is profitable, getting that upfront investment. But a lot of times we really struggle to get sponsors. So part 2 of this video is going to give us more of what to do. Part 1 of the video today is for us to understand what are some of the mistakes we could be making, some of the areas of opportunities, things that we could correct that would help us in our pursuit of getting sponsors. So let's get into that now. The first mistake we see is that we treat our sponsors like an ATM. We make this experience really transactional. We know that we need money for our gala and we know that businesses have them, so we ask them. And what we need to remember is that these businesses are being inundated by requests from nonprofits. Sometimes, by requests from nonprofits, sometimes dozens of requests, sometimes hundreds of requests, sometimes thousands of requests from nonprofits. So it's important that when we are looking at how we're going to get sponsors, ask yourself honestly, are we just really trying to treat sponsors like ATMs, unintentionally, of course, but are we not really doing our homework? Are we just trying to approach businesses that we know of, businesses that we know are big? What are we doing there where we could be potentially treating our sponsors like ATMs? The second mistake is that your outreach is easy to ignore. We all, a lot of nonprofit leaders do this. Nothing inherently wrong with doing it this way, but it's not very effective. So what I'm referring to is that you send these long, lengthy emails to sponsors that basically say, hey, so-and-so, we have an opportunity for you to sponsor our event. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is the event. We need sponsors. I've attached to this, email letter more about our organization, more about the sponsorship levels. We look forward to hearing back from you, essentially. Boom, that's the email. We mass send it as quickly as possible. All we do is we change the first name on it and we wait to see what's going to come back to us. The problem with these lengthy introduction emails is that they're too much. I mean, you're busy. You're a nonprofit leader. You're incredibly busy. You're wearing 17 million hats. Now, imagine that these businesses that you are trying to get in touch with, whether you're trying to get in touch with, somebody in the CSR department, or maybe somebody on the leadership team that you might know, whoever it is you're trying to get in touch with, they are just as busy as you. And trying to act upon an email that is that long and that is that big is frankly just too much. So if you could picture that, you're at home and somebody comes and they knock on the door, what are you most likely going to do? Assuming you're not too afraid to open the door. So assuming that opening the door is something you normally do, someone knocks on the door, you're going to open the door. Now, if that person, the first question of them was, hey, do you ever support the schools in the area? And you'd go, yeah, I'd like to support the schools in the area. Tell me more. Well, I'm on the basketball team and we each are in charge of selling 100 chocolate bars. And if we sell all 100 chocolate bars on the team, then we've raised enough money to travel to Texas to play in this tournament that's going to be great for such and such. And now you're learning about that, and you're learning about this at a pace that makes sense for you. Now imagine if that same kid showed up at your house, but instead of knocking on your door, he just kicked down your door and he opened his bag and he said, I've got 100 chocolate bars for sale. How many are you going to buy? Because it's for my basketball team and we're trying to raise money to go on a tournament to Texas. And if you buy some chocolate bars in here, and especially if you buy all the chocolate bars, then I will definitely have done my part to make sure we can go on this tournament. Imagine if the kid did that instead. I mean, let's set aside the fact that would be scary because it'd be your own house. But imagine the difference between those two interactions. You might say, get out of my house now, leave. I don't, you aren't supposed to barge in here, or I don't have time for this, or maybe next year come back to me. It's a totally different interaction. Now, when you are sending these long, lengthy emails to sponsors, that is like you kicking down the door instead of knocking on the door. So in our next video, I will talk more about what it looks like to just knock on the door to start, getting into these conversations with sponsors. But essentially, that is mistake number 2, is your outreach emails are too long and they are too much for your potential sponsor or whoever's on the receiving end of this email. They're too much for them to make a decision on or work through. So the easiest decision is to just say no or to ignore you altogether. Now, mistake number 3 is that you are not considering timing or context. So what I mean by that is every single business has a different fiscal year. They have a different time of the year where they're planning their budget and allocating the part of their budget that they're going to spend towards supporting their community. And every business is made up of real human beings who have actual personal ties to different causes. So in this last one, it's about doing more research and understanding which sponsors not only align with your values, but might have some personal ties towards your values. Do some of these businesses that you're going after, let's say, for example, your organization does something with the Down syndrome community. Does your, one of these potential sponsors, if you were to learn that one of them, had a dependent with Down syndrome, or one of them had a sibling with Down syndrome or something like that, if you were to find out a fact like that, you are much more likely to get cut through the noise of all the other requests being made to this organization, to this person, to this potential sponsor. You're much more likely to cut through all that noise because you understand the personal tie to it. So it's about timing and context too. If you are not very diligent about researching, again, their fiscal calendar, when they make these types of decisions, and what personal ties, might tie into this organization, or at least what values they have within their business that align with the values you have within your nonprofit. If you're not doing these things, that's another, mistake we've seen when we're trying to reach out to sponsors, and it's an easy way to get ignored if there is not a personal tie. Now, the 4th thing is that you are leading with you instead of leading with what is in it for them. So very often in these communications, it's all about, here's what we do, here's who we serve, here's our event. Do you want to be involved, essentially? When if we could flip that and it's more of, this approach of, hey, here's a little story about impact we've made. Here is how being part of our event could support what you do. Now, we're going to get into that more into the next video, but the 4th mistake essentially is that you are making it all about you instead of making it about the sponsor. To recap here, you are really doing an amazing job. You are running your organization. You are wearing so many hats. You are trying to get your gala planned. And I understand that at the same time, you are also trying to get sponsors for your gala. You are doing an incredible job. But these 4 mistakes could be keeping you from getting in the door, getting your foot in the door, actually being able to have conversations with these potential sponsors, and then actually getting them involved, not only with your gala, but your organization for the long term. So let's review these mistakes again. Number 1, you're treating your sponsors like ATMs. Number 2, your outreach is easy to ignore. Number 3, you are not considering the timing or the context. And number 4, you are making it all about you instead of making it about the sponsor. Again, stay tuned for part 2 of this video where we talk about actually what to do. So this video, it's like, here are some of the reasons we're getting ignored. The next video, we're going to talk about how to help you stand out. If this video has been helpful, subscribe to our newsletter and we will send you more just like it. And as always, we hope this is your most profitable gala yet.